Hey, we are out of time. It's PaulaJedi, and we're back for another round of time travel, science, and craziness. News, that is. And I have quite a show for you today with some wild and crazy theories of mine. But please remember, I'm not claiming to be a scientist or an expert, so I don't want any nasty grams and emails saying, Paula, you think you're an expert? No, I don't. At any rate, I have Scottish scientists in the news today, and they have found that the nuclei of some atoms are not symmetrical. This is freaking out the time travel community quite a bit because people seem to think that this ends the possibility of time travel. I happen to disagree. The scientists said that the nuclei of some atoms are not symmetrical. Not all. Some. So, what the heck does this have to do with time travel anyway, you ask? Well, it all comes down to the Big Bang and the creation of all these universes. People assumed that the Big Bang created equal amounts of matter and antimatter. I'm not sure how they know this, considering they aren't even 100% sure what antimatter is. But they also assumed that the nuclei of atoms could only be shaped as a sphere, a discus, or a soccer ball. Now, these Scottish scientists believe that the shape could be pear-shaped, imperfect. Yes, folks, we live in an imperfect world. Now, again, I'm not a physicist by any means, but I have a theory that the multiverse is shaped like a rose curve, with each leaf of the rose curve representing an infinite, ever-growing universe. Each leaf branches out from the same point, creating a huge flower with oblong-shaped petals, if you can imagine that. So, this new theory could fit nicely with my rose curve. However, doing the math would be quite difficult if each universe is imperfectly shaped. Is that where the time travel bad news lies? Think about this. We have positive and negative charges as well as neutral. It's not just plus and minus. What is the third item that goes with matter and antimatter? Yin and yang. Does introducing an imperfection create a third factor or a third type of existence to create a trinity? Does the universe need an antagonist to get things going? After all, we do have heaven, hell, and purgatory. We also have mother, father, and child. Something to think about. Astronaut Edgar Mitchell of the Apollo 14 mission, who once walked on the surface of the moon, has recently claimed that aliens came to Earth to stop a nuclear war between the US and Russia. The infamous US and Russia nuclear war of John Titor that didn't happen in 2015. So, did these aliens prevent that war from happening? And how exactly does Mr. Mitchell know this? He said he saw strange UFOs during various weapon tests and has also spotted odd things flying over missile bases. This is interesting because there is a theory that UFOs hang around our nuclear power plants, and even more interesting is a theory that I have that perhaps John Titor wasn't talking about a nuclear war per se, but perhaps he was talking about a nuclear explosion. Maybe an explosion of one of our nuclear power plants caused by an earthquake. It just so happens that a nuclear power plant lies close to a fault line in Arkansas, and you can read more about that on my website at microsingularity.net. Even Vladimir Putin is talking about nuclear war, and maybe that isn't too surprising. In a recent video, Putin talks about the NATO missile defense system in Europe being a threat to him, and states that the United States lied to him about it, which is in character for the United States if you think about it. He insinuates that the US will be the starters of such a nuclear war, although we all know from the book Alas Babylon this will probably not be the case. And if you aren't freaked out enough yet, former US Secretary of Defense William Perry says we should all take heed. In his recent book, he says that the threat of nuclear attack is stronger now than during the Cold War. So go ahead and pull out your gas masks, your cans of tuna, your iodine pills, just to be on the safe side. You never know. And don't forget the first aid kit, the salt, and lots of clean water. I just hope the radiation doesn't penetrate the plastic bottles. I hope I haven't scared you too much. We are out of time. Come back next week. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Bye-bye.